Right now, it's 7-2. Winnsboro ISD leaders are facing criminal charges. What we know and how the district is responding to those allegations. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is pushing back against a DOJ investigation that he says is politically motivated. The reaction in Washington from lawmakers and the White House. And high schools are teaching more than math and English. Students now need money skills to graduate, from budgeting to loans. How new financial literacy classes are preparing students for life after graduation.
It's another cold start to the day, but we will be warming up into this afternoon, this time adding a little bit of showers to the mix. We'll take a look at all the forecast details coming up. So stay right there, because Morning on CBS19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Yard on CBS 19 Plus.
7:01 now. Two East Texas superintendents, past and present, are facing serious allegations this morning of not reporting child abuse. David Wilcox's bond is set at $30,000. He's the former leader at Winnsboro ISD. The district's current superintendent, Aaron Nation's bond, set at $40,000. Wilcox resigned back in September. Nation became the new superintendent just last week. What the district is saying in just a moment. Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Jesus Martinez is on assignment. Thanks so much for joining us here on CBS 19 Plus as we get into another hour. We've talked about it. We're definitely, maybe, I always love that. Might need our umbrella today.
Yes, especially if you're in Deep East Texas after 6 o'clock today. We're going to take a look at future skycasts coming up a little bit later, but at the moment, just a few clouds overhead. This is ahead of our next system that will be bringing those chances for showers into today. Overall, a beautiful picture, but definitely a cold start to the day. 40 degrees in Tyler with a feels like of 37 thanks to a south wind of 5 miles per hour. And some of us are sub-freezing. 31 in Marshall, 32 in Carthage, Center, Nacogdoches, Jefferson, 31 in Mount Pleasant, 40 in Tyler, also 43 in Jacksonville. So overall, pretty chilly start. And those temperatures will be getting out of the 30s and 40s, and instead, we'll be climbing into the low to mid 60s, and those clouds continuing to stick around. And again, some of those clouds will be eventually turning into some rain showers as they begin to thicken up over the course of the day. Isolated showers, 62 for Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies becoming sunny as we head into Thursday ahead of our next cold front. There will be more chances for additional cold fronts. We'll take a look at all the rest of the details coming up.
Thank you, Joel. Developing news this morning, a former and current East Texas superintendent are facing serious criminal charges. One of those cases involves Winnsboro Superintendent Aaron Nation just a week after he took the job. Former Winnsboro Superintendent David Wilcox is also charged with 2 counts of failure to report child abuse with the intent to conceal. The current superintendent we just mentioned, Aaron Nation, facing the same charges plus tampering with physical evidence. We stood outside the Wood County Sheriff's Office for hours yesterday, waiting for Aaron Nation to bond out. And we took this video as he was released just hours after being arrested and booked on a $40,000 bond. Nation became superintendent on January 5th, meaning he'd only been on the job and had that role for a week. Winnsboro ISD says in part that the district takes these allegations of misconduct seriously and is committed to maintaining safe and supportive environment for students, staff, and the community. Wilcox remains in the Wood County Jail on a $30,000 bond. His wife, Ashley, was also arrested and charged with failure to report child abuse and is currently being held in the Bowie County Jail. Testimony is set to continue today in the trial of former Uvalde CISD officer Adrian Gonzalez. More witnesses are expected to take the stand as prosecutors continue their case on 29 counts of child endangerment. Yesterday's testimony included questioning of Arnulfo Reyes, a teacher who survived the Robb Elementary shooting. Reyes told jurors that he had turned on a movie for his 14 students shortly before the gunman entered. He described what he saw leading up to the terrifying moments.
What did you see?
A black shadow.
And what was the black shadow doing?
The black shadow was holding a gun. and I know that he was holding a gun because I just saw the fire come out of the gun.
The prosecution believes Gonzalez failed to act while gunshots were fired, while the defense says he acted with the information he was given. Testimony is scheduled to resume this morning at 9 in Corpus Christi. And we are providing gavel-to-gavel coverage here on CBS 19 Plus. Throughout the trial, reporters from across Texas and a panel of legal experts will walk us through the evidence presented in the case, and we'll also be offering analysis that you won't find anywhere else. A Justice Department investigation into Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell continues to prompt reaction in Washington and beyond. There are questions about what it means for the Fed's independence and the nation's economy. Bradley Blackburn is tracking the latest.
In the face of a DOJ investigation, Fed Chair Jerome Powell isn't mincing words.
The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
The statement came after the DOJ served the Fed with grand jury subpoenas last week, linked to a multi-billion-dollar Fed renovation project. The DOJ said in a statement U.S. attorneys have been told to prioritize investigating any abuse of taxpayer dollars. Powell says it's political because the Fed board hasn't lowered interest rates as fast as the president wants.
I'd love to fire his.
The president has criticized Powell for months and also accused him of wasting money on the Fed construction project.
It looks like it's about $3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
In Washington, lawmakers on both sides raised concerns an investigation could jeopardize the Fed's independence in setting monetary policy.
We have to preserve the independence of the Fed.
The Fed has been the gold standard for that kind of monetary policy decision making. And Donald Trump is just burning that to the ground.
But Trump allies are defending the DOJ's move.
The Justice Department is not being weaponized. It was for 4 years under Biden-Harris.
The White House says President Trump did not direct the DOJ to open the investigation into Powell. Powell's term as the Fed chair is scheduled to end in May. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
A powerful group of economic leaders, including former Fed chairs, issued a joint statement calling the Justice Department's move an unprecedented use of a tax to try to undermine the independence of the Federal Reserve. 7 minutes after 7 now, it's time for your morning headlines. The Supreme Court is taking up a long-running national debate today. Justices will hear arguments on whether states can ban transgender athletes from competing on girls' and women's sports teams. 27 states already have those restrictions in place, and recent moves by the White House, the NCAA, and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic committees have added fuel to the fight. Now, the court will decide whether those laws violate equal protection under the Constitution and Title IX. President Trump's national security team will meet today at the White House to discuss Iran. The meeting comes amidst news that hundreds of demonstrators in Iran have been killed and thousands have been imprisoned as a result of ongoing tests in city streets. President Trump previously said that he would consider U.S. military intervention if protesters were killed, but Iran has warned that it will retaliate if the U.S. carries out airstrikes. Apple is now teaming up with Google to bring Gemini's AI to your Siri assistant. The multi-year partnership will make Google's artificial intelligence the foundation for Apple's new models. The iPhone maker has lagged behind competitors for years as it sought to develop its Apple Intelligence technology. Expect products, that is, with new integration to hit store shelves coming up later this year. And how about this? You can get your Fiesta Lime Chicken and a double blueberry pancake all at the same place. This is thanks to a merger at Dallas Love Field. Applebee's and IHOP will be sharing a space at the airport starting today. Diners can choose between the two separate dining areas and mix and match those menu items depending on how they're feeling. Love Field is the first airport with the dual-branded Applebee's and IHOP, maybe AHOP if you want to call it that. A grandmother in North Texas got scammed out of $15,000 and went through a grueling months-long fight to get her money back. As Luke Cleary reports, there's been a breakthrough.
Last week, Billy Young got a call she thought she might never receive after 16 months of waiting.
They said, "We have some good news for you."
It was Wells Fargo reversing its decision to deny a fraud claim filed after she says a check she wrote for nearly $15,000 to pay off a car loan was altered and cashed by someone else. The bank previously told the 83-year-old she had missed a 30-day deadline to report the fraud.
How am I going to report something that I don't know? I didn't know it. Within a week, 1 day of my conversation with you all, it changed dramatically. It just, words cannot express.
It came just days after WFAA first brought you this story. Wells Fargo responding in a statement, "We have resolved this matter with our customer." What do we have here?
I have a check.
In a longer statement, Wells Fargo said it remains concerned about check fraud and urged customers to review their accounts closely and make sure checks are cashed by the intended person. Billy's family also filed a police report with Dallas police, but even if charges are ever filed, the emotional toll remains.
And the hurt that came to me, I felt like I didn't deserve it. I know I didn't deserve it.
With her savings restored, she says she can finally move forward.
For your station, for what you done, whether it was in person, in the office, in the field, it doesn't make any difference. I would say thank you from everything that I have.
In Dallas.
Thank you.
I'm Luke Clary.
What a nice ending there. All right, the NAACP Longview branch is inviting you to be a part of the conversation ahead of the upcoming elections. The group will host an election candidates forum tonight, bringing together candidates from local, state, and national races. This takes place at 6 at 812 East Methvin Street in Longview. The event is designed to provide voters with direct access to candidates, their platforms, and their visions for leadership. Everyone is invited to attend. Some East Texas agriculture students have some extra cash in their pockets this morning, and it is all thanks to one Longview business that donated about $100,000. Listen to this. According to our paper partners at the Longview News Journal, Pelche Ford in Longview donated $500 to every student that participated in the Gregg County Youth Expo, regardless of whether they won, as a way to reward their hard work, as well as 35 $1,000 scholarships. In a statement, they said, quote, "At Pelche Ford, we're proud to support the next generation of leaders who are willing to put in the work and take pride in doing things the right way." More public high schools across the country are requiring students to take a basic financial literacy course to graduate. Pretty cool. Jen Sullivan explains what students are learning and how it can prepare them for their financial future.
From balancing a budget to learning how loans work, exposing your kids to financial life skills can help prepare them for the future.
We want to make sure that we have these basic skills to then adapt.
Billy Hensley is the president and CEO of the National Endowment for Financial Education. They work with local school districts across the country to incorporate financial literacy classes into their classrooms.
When I was young, we didn't talk about money in my home. We didn't talk about it in college. And when I got my first job, I had no idea how to navigate the benefits, the 401k, the match.
The NEFE conducted a survey last spring and found 82% of respondents who attended high school say they wish they were required to complete a personal finance class when they were in school. Topping the list of skills they wish they had learned, spending and budgeting, followed by saving, earning an income, and managing credit. At least 30 states, seen in green on this map, now have a financial education requirement. The orange states have a partial requirement.
In some states, actually, the requirement actually requires FAFSA, which is the form you have to fill out to get financial aid and student loans, a certain level of literacy is part of the financial education course.
Many college graduates are already facing the financial burden of loans. The Department of Education estimates current total student loan debt has topped $1.6 trillion. Hensley says these classes will help students better understand how these loans work. He hopes more states will adopt these courses. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
I think that is so needed. I wish I would have had that.
Oh, me too. Seriously.
I had an economics class, which we covered some of that, like budgeting, but not
Right.
the 401k and the
Right.
saving money. That's what's so important.
We need something a little bit more in depth, I think.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's great.
All right, it's time for Hot Takes and Hot Brews, where the coffee is strong, mine is almost gone, and the opinion's even stronger. So here's our question for the day. It's a pretty easy one. What was your very first job?
Oh, okay. Well, actually, gosh, this goes back to when I was 17. I was a factory worker.
Oh, really? What'd you do?
I worked at a paper factory, and we had a huge shipment of tea containers. I don't know if you've ever heard of the company Tea Tulia. We had a huge order of that.
Oh, cool.
And so I would like put these tubes in the label maker and put lids on them so they would be shipped out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Mine was, I worked at this place called The House Dressing, and I loved it. I would go back, I started right after high school, and I'd go back at college at Thanksgiving and at Christmas and in the summer. And it was just this beautiful store with candles that smelled amazing, and we also sold stationery as well.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely loved it.
Nice.
So good. I did like one babysitting thing, and that just was not my journey. The dog went crazy on the neighborhood during the whole experience, and it scarred me.
Yeah, no, that would scar me too. It's like,
So I never really
pepper
babysat,
spray.
but I love my babies. They're
Right.
not babies anymore, but I still love them. Okay. Jackie says after she babysat and was old enough, she went to work for Stuckey's. And then Kristen says she was a student assistant in the nursing department at TJC.
Oh, how cool is that?
That's a good one.
That's good.
All right, keep telling us what your very first job was. I always love to hear, like, did it influence you? It definitely didn't really influence me in my career, but I did have a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
I
would
love
say-
retail.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, and I worked for Home Depot for a little bit.
did?
I did.
Are you handy?
A little bit handy.
Very good.
Just a little bit.
All right. Well, he is handy enough in the traffic area to keep us moving on smoothly out there, at least telling us if we're going to run into any problems.
Right. I think we're going to be just fine so far as we take a look across our roadways. We got nice quiet conditions on I-20, 2 hours over to Dallas, hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport. So nice quiet conditions on I-20 this morning, US 69. Same thing, 2.5 hours up to Denison, hour and 30 minutes over to Lufkin. Nice and quiet. No interruptions this morning so far. 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, 40 minutes from Tyler to Longview. We have 55 minutes from Tyler to Palestine, and up to 45 minutes at this point from Tyler to Athens. And visibility is not going to be a problem this morning. Not expecting any fog to develop as we are cool and dry. We will notice a little bit more cloud cover into the rest of this morning and into the afternoon. This is marking our next system that will be bringing in a little bit of rain shower activity across deep East Texas. And here comes our next cold front. Could bring us maybe a couple of sprinkles possibly, but overall should be nice and dry, just much cooler. Overall, not looking too bad. Green lights for this morning, green lights into this afternoon. Watch out for maybe a couple showers after 6 o'clock, but otherwise you are good to go.
Thanks, Joel. They know the name, but not the results yet. Why White House believes its next chapter starts on the sideline. That's ahead in sports.
It's time for CBS 19 Sports.
Well, hello and welcome to Sports. I'm Jimmy Searfoss. We're glad you're with us. And if you talk to anyone about White House across Texas, they probably know it as the place that Patrick Mahomes played high school football. And they'll probably say something like, man, that school's probably really good at football. And then you have to tell them, they're up and down. Well, now they brought in the man that they think can change all that.
White House is one of the most recognizable places in East Texas. Mahomes' face is everywhere. Mahomes' brand is everywhere. But Mahomes can't get the Wildcats into the end zone anymore. That's now Brett Gilchrist's job.
Yeah, East Texas, it's the only place that I've never lived.
Gilchrist is coming from Frisco, where he led the Lone Star High School offense for 4 years, most recently to a state championship appearance.
And I learned so much from them, and if you give the kids a bunch of ownership in your program, they're going to do that and want to do right by it. And so I think we gave them a lot of ownership early on because we knew they could be special, and they were.
And that's the kind of team he's looking to build in Wildcat land.
I think a lot of untapped potential, a lot of discipline and accountability is going to be at the forefront. And I think the kids need to know that we love them as people first, and we're here to grow them into great young men, and then the football will follow it.
Because he got a taste of how good East Texas football can be in his first year as offensive coordinator at Lone Star.
And you hear about the physicality and then the freaks that play out here. I played Longview my first year as offense coordinator, and they beat us up front, and they beat us pretty big. Longview is I think, the benchmark of success in East Texas.
A benchmark he's looking to surpass before his 30th birthday. And that starts in the playoffs, because making it hasn't been an issue. The Wildcats have made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. The problem is they've never made it past the 3rd round of the playoffs. And the 29-year-old Gilchrist believes he's the man to build a legacy for the packed stands at Wildcat Stadium.
I just needed someone to believe in me, and now my mission is to prove him right. This was the best hire he could make, and we're going to do it, and we're going to get it fixed, and we're going to get headed in the right direction, and we're going to do it by putting the kids first.
Hey, check out that full interview with Gilchrist on our website. Longview's all-time record holder for touchdowns and receiving yards, Jalen Hale, announced his commitment to SMU yesterday. Hale graduated as a 4-star recruit in 2022 and committed to Bama, where he played as a freshman for 13 games and racked up 148 yards on 5 passes. Hadn't appeared in much after that. He's been dealing with a knee injury, got a medical red shirt off of it, but he has 3 years of eligibility left as a Mustang. And go on, we've been all waiting for this one. Texans wild card game, first one ever on the road in franchise history, playing against Aaron Rodgers and what could end up being his very last game. And hey, Stroud looked rough tonight, but hey, he got this one in. Christian Kirk in the hands, in the end zone. Texans take an early lead in Pittsburgh, and when I said shaky, I meant it. Slippery ball out there for the Texans. Add TJ Watt onto it, you got a fumble. Pittsburgh gets this one, and they get a field goal out of it. Let's go to the third, still 7-6. Stroud, red zone, his team's in white, he tosses it to the team in black. Steelers get a hold of this one, but they can't get much out of it. Stroud owes his defense dinner last night. Hey, let's go see him to go to work. Daniil, strip sack. Hey, this one sacked. Pittsburgh falls back on top of it. Stroud capitalized on the turnover later on. Kirk again, 46 yards on 3rd down. This one ends in a field goal. Steelers need something big. They got Sheldon Rankins from the Texans. Still a big man, technically. Scoop and score. It only gets worse for the Steelers from there. Texans take this one 30-6. They got a date with Drake May and the Patriots coming up next week. And in the Cowboys news, Cowboys rookie end Donovan Ezeraku was arrested on reckless driving charges in Frisco on Sunday. Cowboys made a comment saying they were aware of the arrest but did not comment any further. That's all I got for you. Good morning, y'all.
Well, we are about to step away for a moment while we break into our over-the-air broadcast with a news update for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back here on CBS 19 Plus.
East Texas, it's game day.
And our lineup has never been cuter.
This January, we're teaming up with the SPCA of East Texas for Paw Forward, a month of stories that put rescue pets in the spotlight.
From the underdogs to the rising stars.
We're kicking off a mission to help every dog and cat get their shot at a forever home. And your support fuels the SPCA's life-saving work.
Every dollar helps animals right here in East Texas.
Join us January 30th for Paw Forward Day of Giving.
And help us score a win for animals in our community.
Sponsored by Pelche Subaru.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Thanks for being with us for this news update. A former and current East Texas superintendent are facing serious criminal charges. One of those cases involves Winnsboro Superintendent Aaron Nation, just 1 week after he took the job. Former Winnsboro Superintendent David Wilcox is charged with 2 counts of failure to report child abuse with the intent to conceal. The current superintendent, Aaron Nation, faces those same charges, plus tampering with physical evidence. Now, we stood outside the Wood County Sheriff's Office for hours yesterday, waiting for Nation to bond out. We took this video as he was released just hours after being arrested and booked on a $40,000 bond. Nation became superintendent on January 5th, meaning he'd only been in the role for a week. Winnsboro ISD says in part that the district takes all allegations of misconduct seriously and is committed to maintaining a safe and supportive environment for students, staff, and the community. Wilcox remains in the Wood County Jail on a $30,000 bond. His wife, Ashley, was also arrested and charged with failure to report child abuse and is being held in the Bowie County Jail. The NAACP Longview branch is inviting you to be part of the conversation ahead of the upcoming elections. The group will host an election candidates forum tonight. It takes place at 6 at 812 East Methvin Street in Longview. The event is designed to provide voters with direct access to candidates, their platforms, and their visions for leadership. Some East Texas agriculture students have some extra cash in their pockets this morning, and it is all thanks to one of Longview businesses that donated about $100,000. According to our paper partners at the Longview News Journal, Pelche Ford in Longview donated $500 to every student that participated in the Gregg County Youth Expo, regardless of whether they won, as a way to reward their hard work, as well as 35 $1,000 scholarships. In a statement, they said, quote, "At Pelche Ford, we are proud to support the next generation of leaders who are willing to put in the work and take pride in doing things the right way." Congratulations to them. Well, it is a gorgeous start to the morning, but a little chilly.
Definitely a little bit chilly, and we will see a little bit more cloud cover throughout the rest of today, and maybe a little bit of a chance for a couple of showers as well. Temperatures will be making their way into the low to mid 60s for this afternoon, and here it is on Future Skycast. The best chance for any sort of rain is going to be along and south of I-20. So we're talking Canton, Tyler, Longview, Marshall, and south. That's going to be our best chance of rain, and the rain that will be moving through will be very isolated, and not everybody will be getting in on rain. And then we all are going to be getting in on some much cooler air as we introduce our next cold front coming through the area on Wednesday. So by Thursday morning, we're talking about lows in the 20s and low 30s. All of us will be at least at or below freezing before temperatures rebound into the middle 50s for Thursday afternoon. Now again, we'll be rebounding briefly into the 60s for Friday, and we will be introducing another cold front coming in this weekend.
Welcome back to Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. President Trump is set to discuss options on Iran with his national security team today. The latest on the protests there and concerns of a violent crackdown. And Camp Mystic plans to reopen one of its campuses this summer following the deadly July 4th floods. We'll hear from the camp's director and the company working to keep those girls safe.
A couple of showers for today and an overall temperature roller coaster as an area of Arctic air continues to move its way further to the south. We'll take a look at that 7-day outlook coming up later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Jesus Martinez is on assignment. Thank you so much for joining us here on CBS 19 Plus. Breaking news just into our newsroom from Elkhart ISD. The district says a car crash near the high school on Highway 287 is blocking traffic right now and may cause delays in drop-off, pickup, or bus routes. First responders are on the scene and traffic is being directed. Now, the district is asking you to please be patient and allow for some extra time for potential delays. Authorities haven't said what caused the crash or if there are any injuries. We will pass along any new updates as we get them this morning. Now to continuing coverage out of Henderson County. 7 years after a double murder, an East Texas man is now behind bars, and investigators say his confession to a friend helped finally bring justice to the victim's family. 25-year-old Lance Caden Rains of Chandler is charged with capital murder in connection to the deaths of Gabriel McBride and his 17-year-old daughter Beverly. According to an arrest affidavit, a friend came forward last year telling investigators Rains confessed to the murders and provided details that had never been released publicly. The friend identified the weapon as a handgun belonging to Rains' grandfather. Investigators say Rains was living with his grandparents at the time in a home next door to the McBrides. Sheriff Bodie Hillhouse said that Rains knew that Gabe McBride sold marijuana and went over to his home to get some. But he didn't realize that his daughter Beverly was there until he was inside the home.
So he basically went over there to rob them, and then it turned into what it turned into.
We had the chance to speak to Gabriel's sister yesterday. She described how profound these last 7 years have been on her family.
I know kids do stupid things, and he was a kid at the time, barely 18. So my heart and my prayers go out to his family and for that young man who has a lot to think about. A lot of things are about to change in his life. And I do ask that we take it off the death penalty. You know, I didn't want my family to die. I don't want this young man to die.
Sheriff Hillhouse also said this arrest is proof that they will pursue the truth for as long as it takes. Rains is now being held in the Henderson County Jail on a $2 million bond. 7:34 now. Today, President Trump heads to Detroit to give remarks on the economy. But growing tensions with Iran over its violent crackdown on protesters also remains top of mind. The president has announced new tariffs against countries that do business with Iran. And sources say he'll discuss updated options, including military and covert tools, with his advisors. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has more.
Today, President Trump is expected to discuss updated options on Iran with his national security team, according to several sources familiar with the matter. Two defense officials also tell CBS News the president has already been briefed on a wide array of military and covert tools.
We're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination.
President Trump has repeatedly threatened to strike Iran over its violent crackdown on recent protests, even as he says Tehran seeks talks.
Diplomacy is always the first option for the president. With that said, the president has shown he's unafraid to use military options if and when he deems necessary.
On social media Monday, the president announced a 25% tariff on goods from countries that do business with Iran immediately. Iran's biggest trading partner, China, expressed opposition overnight night, adding that it will take all necessary measures to safeguard its interests. U.S.-based activists say hundreds of protesters have been killed and thousands jailed since anti-government demonstrations broke out more than 2 weeks ago in Iran. On CBS News, the country's exiled crown prince had this message for President Trump.
The best way to ensure that there will be less people killed in Iran is to intervene sooner so this regime finally collapses.
Iran's foreign minister says his country is both ready for war or talks with the U.S. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Overnight, Vice President J.D. Vance pushed back on reports that claim that he is urging President Trump to pursue diplomacy over military action when it comes to Iran. A spokesperson tells CBS News that Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are both, quote, presenting a suite of options to the president, ranging from a diplomatic approach to military actions. Now to a murder investigation making national headlines. A doctor is now charged in connection with the deaths of an Ohio dentist and his wife. Reed Binion reports.
A vascular surgeon accused of killing his ex-wife and her current husband appeared in an Illinois courtroom Monday.
Your name, sir, for the record? Michael McKee.
Michael David McKee was arrested on Saturday on 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique Tepe. They were found dead with apparent gunshot wounds on December 30th in their Ohio home with their 2 young children inside. The children, ages 4 and 1, were not physically harmed. Monique Tepe was married to Michael McKee briefly. They were divorced nearly a decade ago. Most recently, McKee was listed as a vascular surgeon at OSF St. Anthony Medical Center in Rockford, Illinois. His arrest ended a days-long manhunt during which Columbus police released surveillance footage showing an unidentified, quote, person of interest walking in an alley near the couple's home during the time frame investigators think they were killed. Police haven't said if McKee is believed to be the person in the video. At his hearing in Illinois Monday, McKee waived his right to an extradition hearing. His lawyer requested a speedy return to Ohio so he can plead not guilty in the case. Meanwhile, heartbroken relatives of the victims are still reeling from the shock of the killings.
They lived for their children. Their lives became about their children.
How do you tell a 4-year-old that, she's never going to see her parents again?
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is touring Texas, part of his Arsenal of Freedom tour, which aims to promote American defense manufacturing. Yesterday, Secretary Hegseth visited the Lockheed Martin facility in Fort Worth. He toured the production line for the F-35 Lightning II, which Lockheed calls the most advanced, connected, and lethal fighter aircraft in production. During his remarks, the Secretary talked about the strength of the U.S. military.
As the world has seen and as a indicted criminal in Venezuela found out about a week ago, what America can do is like no other country in the world.
This morning, Secretary Hegseth is in Brownsville touring Elon Musk's Starbase. The Texas Attorney General's office is now launching a statewide investigation into grocery chains, accusing them of spraying organic produce with pesticides without telling consumers. The AG's office is looking into stores that use Produce Max. It's registered under the EPA as an antimicrobial pesticide. It's typically used to spray produce before it hits the shelves and while it's on display. It's important to note, any product that claims to kill pests is registered as a pesticide, but it's not in the same group as products with synthetic chemicals. Federal law also allows its active ingredient, hypochlorous acid, to be used on organic foods. AG Paxton is demanding that any Texas grocery stores using the product post signs showing that produce has been sprayed with pesticide and how customers can rinse it off before eating it. In a release, AG Paxton wrote in part, quote, "There should be no shortcuts when it comes to food safety, and my office will ensure that Texas consumers are not misled about the state of the produce that they purchase," end quote. Well, this week, parents will have the chance to enroll their daughters at Camp Mystic this summer. One of its 2 campuses is reopening at the end of May. However, the main campus, where 27 campers and counselors lost their lives on July 4th, is closed for now. Megan Reyna visited the camp director about reopening.
So it has been 6 months since the tragedy on July 4th. First off, how are you doing?
God is good. It's been really, really hard with everything that's happened, but we're appreciative of all the prayers and support, and we're hanging in there.
Britt Eastland may have been born into the camping community, but being here is his choice. He and his wife are the camp directors at Camp Mystic Cypress Lake, the sister campus that opened in 2020, not far from the original campsite off the Guadalupe River.
During the storm, we were here watching over our girls at this campus.
On July 4th, everyone here was okay. But less than a mile away, 25 campers, 2 counselors, and Eastland's father, Dick Eastland, would lose their lives.
The future of this main campus is unclear. The community is still healing, but Eastland told me the decision to reopen the other campus came after a lot of prayer.
If we do it right, that girls will have an amazing experience, and they will gain so much for being together, and it'll be very healing for a lot of them. So we're working really hard at that right now.
Part of that work included making a phone call to a company that didn't even exist 6 months ago. Owen Gari co-founded River Century following the devastating floods. They quickly engineered this flood warning sensor.
We're going to come up with a system that works the same way as a fire alarm in a hotel works, as simple as that.
Gari says once water reaches a certain level and is detected, an alarm similar to 2 ambulances goes off. 4 of these are now installed at Camp Mystic Cypress Lake, and by the end of April, there will be 100 across the Guadalupe River at different campsites and private properties, paid for by local foundations in Camp Mystic.
Our prayers is that never has to go off, right?
That's it. Yeah, that's the idea. But if it does, then at least we'll know that we gave everybody enough time to get out of here.
Eastland says he understands why some parents may not be ready to send their girls back to camp, but he believes this campus was unscathed by the raging floodwaters for a reason.
It is pretty special that this is here.
Now to more state news. Health officials are proposing sweeping new rules for the edible hemp industry, including licensing fee increases on more than 13,000%. Now, under the proposal, hemp manufacturer licenses would jump from about $250 to $25,000 per facility, while licenses for retailers would rise from $150 to $20,000 per location per year. Supporters say the changes are needed to strengthen oversight and protect children. But hemp business owners and advocates argue that the cost and the new testing requirements could shut down small operations and push consumers toward unregulated products. Public comments on the proposals are being accepted through January 26th.
For all her success, Taylor Swift had never had a song top the Billboard Hot 100 for 10 weeks until now. The Fate of Ophelia is the first of Swift's 13 career #1 hits to spend double digits at the top of that chart. One battle after another is in yet another battle with Sinners. The films lead this year's Motion Picture Sound Editors Awards nominations with 3 apiece. The 73rd Annual Golden Reel Awards take place March 8th in Los Angeles.
You will never find the one piece.
My friends. Together.
There's nothing we can't take on.
Luffy and the Straw Hats face off against a secret society of assassins in the official teaser for Season 2 of One Piece. The pirate adventures continue when One Piece Into the Grand Line sets sail March 10th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, let's get to some trending stories this morning. Talk about an amazing escape. An animal shelter in West Virginia had one recently where a very smart dog got out of its kennel. The pugnacious pooch made a break for it once the kennel closed and got to the front door, which was unlocked. Look at him there. But this clever boy named Dawson wasn't going to let a little door lock stand between him and freedom. Nope. You can see him opening the lock using his teeth before busting out. The furry fugitive didn't stay on the lam long. Officials at the animal shelter say he was found and returned days later, and said the viral escape video has since led to donations to the shelter, topping some $15,000.
Well, at least got some donations out of it.
Right. What kind of locks does this dog need to stay in?
I know, right? He's just too smart.
Yesterday we talked about how dogs can hear you and how smart they are. Just proves.
Yeah, exactly.
Very smart.
They can solve problems too, apparently.
Well, check this out. Mattel is launching its first Barbie with autism. The company says her appearance is meant to reflect some people on the spectrum. The Barbie's tablet is an augmentative and alternative communication device for those who struggle with speech. Mattel says the doll's headphones show the need to reduce sensory overload. She also has an averted gaze and a fidget spinner. Mattel says the dress is loose since some people with autism prefer less contact with fabric. A lot of attention to detail there.
Right.
It was nice that they did that.
Yeah, no, very, very mindful just regarding the sensory stuff and the ears, how you feel, the fidgets.
And I think it could be a good education tool for others as well.
Oh, certainly.
Show that we're all different.
And
all
this
wonderfully
is why.
made,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, let's get a check of your weather now. Definitely we got a roller coaster on our hands this week.
Yeah, we sure do. It's going to get pretty cold, then we'll be warming up, then back to cold. I mean, like you were saying, just quite a roller coaster out there.
A little bit of everything.
Exactly. So a little bit wacky of a weather pattern coming up here, but we are also going to be watching a little bit of shower activity moving into the area, specifically over deep East Texas for the later parts of today and into this evening. We're already starting to see evidence of this next system, just judging by the cloud cover coming through. There it is. That counterclockwise spin there is an area of low pressure that will eventually be drifting its way through. The showers at the moment are beginning to break apart a little bit. I do anticipate this to be a little bit more spotty rather than more organized where everybody's going to see it. It's really only going to be isolated over deep East Texas for this evening. There's the cloud cover on our Roberts cam. You got a little bit of sunshine out there, just a beautiful morning, but definitely chilly. 40 degrees and feeling like 37 with a south wind of 5 miles per hour, and temperatures elsewhere across the area still at or below freezing for some of us. Right at freezing in Nacogdoches, Center, 33 in Carthage, 31 in Marshall. Meanwhile, we got 40 in Tyler and 44 for Jacksonville as the warmer spots. And as we head into the rest of this afternoon and into the evening, temperatures will be moving into the low to mid 60s. That cloud cover continuing to stick around. And again, we're watching for a couple of showers, only running at about a 30% chance. 62 for Wednesday, down to 52 for Thursday. We will have a chance to rebound and go back down in those temperatures later in the week. We'll take a look at what your 7-day forecast says coming up.
Thank you, Joel. Doctors say a new approach is giving patients with a rare eye condition something many thought was lost: hope. How a familiar treatment is now being used in a surprising way, coming up. Welcome back. It's 10 minutes till 8 now. Doctors say they've saved the sight of patients with a rare but dangerous condition that can cause the eyeball to collapse. The breakthrough treatment was done overseas using an eye gel already familiar to surgeons. CBS's Tina Kraus has the story.
British doctors say this tiny drop of gel is helping people see again.
It's incredible. It's life-changing. It's given me everything back.
Nikki Guy's eyes had such low pressure, a condition known as hypotony, that her eyeballs were collapsing. She went blind in her right eye and soon started losing sight in her left.
It was challenging. I couldn't see to get around my house. I found it incredibly tough to get outside.
Treatments for a while now.
Her left eye still had potential, but needed to be reinflated. But the commonly used filler, a silicone oil, is hard to see through. So doctors in London tried something different, a clear gel called HPMC, used for decades in other eye surgeries.
The really different thing about this approach is we're injecting the gel in the back of the eye, and that had never really been done in a rigorous way. It works as an iron to flatten off the retina.
These scans show the eye before treatment on the left and after on the right.
And while that may not look like a lot on these images, the difference between this picture and this picture, with the retina being scrunched up or flat, is the difference between being able to see and not see.
Nikki Guy is one of 7 of the first 8 patients to see dramatic improvements with monthly gel injections in less than a year.
I used to take loads of photographs and be a keen photographer. I can do that again. I can see my child grow up at every birthday.
Doctors hope the gel will one day become standard treatment, giving hundreds, if not thousands of patients the chance to see what they've been missing. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
All right, everybody, let's jump into your forecast. Cold air is really building off to the north, and you can see in our upper level map this trough of low pressure. That's some cold Arctic air that will be making its way further down to the south and will be impacting parts of East Texas heading into the next few days. And it will be coming in pieces. Again, you can see that large area of some colder air. We are going to be expected to be just a little bit below average, thanks to this area of cold coming in. And again, we'll be coming in pieces, so we'll have some time to recover, but still, we should be pretty chilly heading into the next few days, especially when it comes to some nights. Now for today, a couple of showers, a good possibility across deep East Texas. It'll become really more so isolated. Not everybody will see it, but we certainly will have a chance for rain along and south of I-20. Temperatures into this afternoon in the low to mid 60s. Here comes our next cold front here. This is cold front number 1. Notice the temperature difference, 55 in Mount Pleasant, 62 in Lufkin. That's that cold air coming through, and temperatures as a result going down into the low to mid 20s and low to mid 30s for the rest of us. Clear skies overhead. All of us will at least be at or below freezing, so certainly take care of yourselves there. Low to mid 50s for the afternoon on Thursday, I should say. Winds now out of the south, so that will recover our temperatures briefly into your Friday, and we'll see plenty of sunshine there. Also gusty winds into Wednesday as that cold front approaches, gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour through Wednesday. Now for today, again, upper 40s, some of us still in the 30s, low to mid 60s for the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies, a couple showers again along and south of I-20. We're bouncing around as that cold air mass kind of comes in pieces. Next cold front aiming to come into the area on Saturday.
Alrighty, we're getting back to our hot takes and hot brews, where the coffee's strong and the opinions, well, sometimes they're strong, sometimes they're just fun.
There you go.
All right, here's our question of the day, because we want to know more about you, our viewers. What was your very first job? You talked about one of your jobs in manufacturing, right?
That's right, yep.
Any other jobs that were kind of fun?
Yeah, so I worked at Home Depot as a lot associate, so I would help bring in carts, I would help people load stuff. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time there.
Another one of my jobs, it was my first job in college, was I checked classes for athletes.
Oh, really?
Made sure they were going to school.
Wow, no kidding.
Yes, they called me the tattletale.
The tattletale.
I knew kind of all of them because I would go into the counselor that they had, and they would always be in there and we would talk. But yeah, that was kind of a fun.
The accountability buddy.
Yeah, I was their buddy. That's right.
Yes.
Now let's see what people are saying that they did. Lance said Marshall's, True Value and Hardware's where he was working. Vernon worked at El Chico. Man, I loved El Chico. So good. Let's see. Jess says when she was 16, her first job was as secretary for a company that manufactured roof coating for commercial buildings. That's a big job.
That
My
is
goodness.
a big job. Wow, holy cow.
And Sandy says babysitting.
There you
She
go.
started when she was 13. My goodness.
Wow, 13. Started them off young.
That's right. I was young in my first babysitting job, but I told you it was traumatic, so it didn't go back.
Right, didn't go back. Didn't go very well.
Didn't go well, and when my fault, there's a dog.
There's a dog.
It was the dog's fault.
It was the dog's, the traumatic experience with the dog.
It was. I was really glad when those parents got home. All right, we're about to step away for a moment while we break into our over-the-air broadcast with the news update. We'll be right back with more here on CBS 19 Plus. Good Tuesday morning, y'all. Thanks for being with us for this morning news update. I'm Dana Dixon. New details in a 7-year-old double murder case. Henderson County investigators say the suspect confessed to a friend, finally bringing justice to the victim's family. 25-year-old Lance Caden Rains of Chandler is charged with capital murder in connection to the deaths of Gabriel McBride and his 17-year-old daughter, Beverly. According to an arrest affidavit, a friend came forward last year telling investigators Rains confessed to those murders and provided details that had never been released publicly. The friend identified the weapon as a handgun belonging to Rains' grandfather. Investigators say Rains was living with his grandparents at the time, next door to the McBrides. Sheriff Bodie Hillhouse says that Rains knew that Gabe McBride sold marijuana and went to his house to get some, but didn't realize that his daughter Beverly was inside.
So he basically went over there to rob them, and then it turned into what it turned into.
We had the chance to speak to Gabriel's sister. She described how profound these last 7 years have been on her family.
I know kids do stupid things, and he was a kid at the time, barely 18. So my heart and my prayers go out to his family and for that young man who has a lot to think about, a lot of things are about to change in his life. And I do ask that we take it off the death penalty. You know, I didn't want my family to die. I don't want this young man to die.
Sheriff Hillhouse also said that this arrest is proof that they will pursue the truth for as long as it takes. Well, if you see white smoke near your home this week, don't panic. It's likely part of a planned utility test. Tyler Water Utilities is conducting smoke testing to find leaks in the wastewater system. This is going to be on South Broadway Avenue near Toll 49 in Biloxi. Crews will send non-toxic smoke through sewer lines, which may exit roof vents or the ground. Officials say the smoke is safe, sewer service won't be interrupted, and no home access is needed. This is expected to happen through this Friday. Let's get a check now of your weather.
Yeah, we got 30s and 40s this morning, some of us dipping just below that freezing mark, but by this afternoon we will be climbing into the low to mid 60s and cloud cover beginning to increase ahead of our next system, which will be bringing in the chance for maybe a couple showers, mainly across deep East Texas to an isolated extent. That will continue to move out of the area. Temperatures again in the low to mid 60s for the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies for most of us. And then we will be watching for this next cold front here. This is our next batch of Arctic air that will be coming in several pieces for this week. So temperatures as we move into Wednesday and into Thursday, especially 23 degrees is a low potentially for Sulphur Springs. Overall upper 20s, low 30s. Some of us, again, or I should say all of us, at or below freezing, and only making it to the low 50s for the afternoon on Thursday, when then we rebound back into the low 60s for Friday. Another cold front will be moving into the area for this weekend, dropping our temperatures once again into the low to mid 50s.
8 o'clock news before you go this morning. A former and current East Texas superintendent are facing serious criminal charges. Former Winnsboro Superintendent David Wilcox is charged with 2 counts of failure to report child abuse with the intent to conceal and is currently in the Wood County Jail. Now, the current superintendent, Aaron Nation, faces the same charges plus tampering with physical evidence, but has bonded out. Testimony is set to resume today in the trial of former Uvalde CISD officer Adrian Gonzalez. More witnesses are expected to take the stand as prosecutors continue their case on 29 counts of child endangerment. Yesterday's testimony included continuing questioning of Arnulfo Reyes, a teacher who survived Robb Elementary's shooting. Testimony is scheduled to resume in about an hour in Corpus Christi. Well, if you see white smoke rising near your home, it's likely part of a planned utility test. Tyler Water Utilities is conducting smoke testing. This is to find leaks in the wastewater system. It's going to be on South Broadway Avenue near Toll 49 in Biloxi. Officials say the smoke is safe, sewer service won't be interrupted, and no home access is needed. Don't forget your umbrella may come in handy later today.
Absolutely. Definitely a heavier jacket as you step out the door this morning. Some of us still in the low 30s as you step out the door. Low to mid 60s for this afternoon. And again, a couple of isolated showers. Not all of us will be seeing rain, but especially those of us in Deep East Texas, you'll at least have the better chance for rain. 62 for Wednesday with partly cloudy skies. Next cold front comes through Wednesday afternoon, and by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, also looking at some gusty winds, gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour. We drop down into the low 50s for Thursday, briefly recover back to the 60s for Friday as the winds shift in from the south. And then our next cold front will be arriving Friday into Saturday, dropping our temperatures into the 50s once again.
All right, this one's for all the pizza lovers out there. It's National Pizza Week. A couple of major chains are running deals this week, including Pizza Hut and Domino's. Officials say pizza is still one of the most popular go-to choices, although we learned not on Tuesdays.
Not on Tuesdays.
According to our water cooler question earlier today, if you were watching over the air. Even with the rise of prices, National Pizza Week is running through Saturday. Do you have a go-to topping situation?
Oh yeah, I mean pepperoni. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of sausage sometimes, but it's usually pepperoni.
I have a go-to. It's pepperoni, green olives, mushrooms, and jalapenos.
Oh, okay, you definitely load yours up for
The combo is so good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad.
I can't change from it. There's a couple specialty pizzas I'll try or whatever, but that so good. Try it if you haven't.
Pizza sounds good.
All right, thanks for continuing your day with us here on Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. You can catch the noon show coming up here as well, and keep it here for the latest news and weather throughout the day. Have a good morning, and we'll see you dark and early tomorrow.